to open up with the weather that's going on in the Atlantic, because we have Hurricane Aaron out here, one of the first major hurricanes in the Atlantic this season, and it has downgraded to a Category 2, so it has weakened. It did get up to a Category 5 at one time, in fact, very quickly, but it's going to continue moving to the northeast, and it's going to start causing some issues out here, especially for North Carolina. Right now, it is about 450 miles to the about southeast of Cape Hatteras in North Carolina, with winds getting up to 100 miles per hour, and it's moving north about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and it's going to continue to do so. Luckily, it's not going to make landfall. It's going to curve right back out into the ocean, so it's not going to cause any landfall issues here into the United States. But as I mentioned, we do have these tropical storm warnings in effect for the eastern parts, especially of North Carolina, and we do have some storm surges as well that could be up to 6 feet. So it will cause some issues, but luckily we have gone away from the worst case scenario when this hurricane first started developing. And now we're going to turn back here to the Northland, because for us right now, we're going to be under a high pressure system, and it's going to bring it pretty sunny for today. And we're not seeing it quite yet. It's a big gloomy morning, but once we get going into the day, kind of like yesterday, we're going to start to see that sunshine come back out. And it's going to allow temperatures to be a little bit on the warm side once again, mostly into the 70s, especially near Lake Superior. But as we go further west, we're going to be getting into the low 80s. And by the time we get into Thursday, all of us are going to be into the upper 70s, low 80s. So it's going to be a bit warmer for our Thursday as well. And when it comes to the humidity, it's not going to be too bad, but you'll see those dew points pushing into the low 60s, maybe a little bit more. So it's going to feel a little bit on the muggy side. Still remind us that we're in summer. And if you're out by the lake, we are going to have the lake breeze, so a little bit cooler for those right by the lake, where most of us in the 70s and the 80s. Coastal communities can see those temperatures staying into the lower 70s and even the upper 60s. Now let's look at here for a severe weather outlook, because we're going to start to see that rain return as we get into late Thursday. We do have a marginal risk for severe weather, large hail, damaging winds being the primary threats for the northwest on the Minnesota side. It's going to shift to the southeast and northwest Wisconsin and the UP as we go into our Friday, and it is going to be the system. We're going to first start seeing it here make its way into around International Falls, even as early as the overnight hours tonight, going into early Thursday, and then it's going to start to push its way in as we go through later on Thursday. But you'll notice not too much confidence that there will be some storms. It's showing maybe some showers, but not great confidence right now. And that's because we're not going to see as much moisture as is necessary, mostly above the surface. This is at 700 millibars. That's about 1.5 miles above the surface. It is an important layer of the atmosphere for having some of the moisture that storms need, especially overnight storms that are a little bit elevated off the surface. So we're seeing a bit of moisture, but not great when it comes to that humidity. But we can see still need to be ready for some of those storms overnight. And it won't be the end of the rain. As we get into the weekend, we're going to see some chances for some isolated showers, and especially northern Minnesota, and that's where we have the greatest probability of seeing some of those showers sticking around associated with this system. And it's also going to bring in cooler air, because right now we are going to have those southerly breeze, especially as we get into Thursday, bringing up the warmer air and some of the moisture for these storms. But as we start to get into Friday, we're going to have a cold front. The winds are going to be shifting out of the northwest, and it is going to be bringing some cool air, and quite cool indeed. Look at how much below average we're going to be by the time we get to the weekend. And in fact, it's showing, even in Hibbing, showing 59 degrees for those highs on Sunday. And let's take a look at Sunday overall, because this is expected to be the coolest day. 60s, low 60s, probably even upper 50s for those highs, putting us well below the seasonal average. So we're really getting that early taste of fall as we get into the weekend. And the winds are going to be blustery too, out of the northwest, bringing down this cooler air. And not just for Saturday, for Sunday, but we're going to see some gusting winds gusting up to about 25, even 30 miles per hour, sustained around 10 to 15 miles per hour. So right now we're still seeing that summer conditions sticking around for today, as well as we go through the rest of the week. But as we get into the weekend, we're going to start seeing some rain make its way in, but we're also going to start seeing the fall-like conditions.